Welcome to DC. 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 Welcome to DC.
This is Hog Farmer Chris from the Hog Farmers Charitable Foundation. And before you start listening to Red Zone in the Lab, check out our Amazon Smile, a simple way to support the Hog Farmers Charitable Foundation every time you shop, and it's no cost to you.
We're back! Welcome back to Red Zone in the Lab with Deuce.
Welcome to a brand new season of the Red Zone in the Lab podcast, where nothing is off the table. We will be discussing entrepreneurship, education, Black history, health, movies, family, and of course, sports. So do yourself a favor, make sure you like, subscribe, and follow on all social media platforms, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And of course, you can always visit us at redzoneinTheLab.com.
This is Red Zone in the Lab podcast. I am Dion Deuce Blackney in the building. We got CeeLo, DT. This is our Commanders postgame show. We bringing in the lab. We're bringing the lab to you, man. We doing this live. And of course, we welcome the great, recently famous, man-made, at Breeze Butler is in the building. What it do, bro?
Salute. What's good, fellas?
Hey, man, how's life been, man? Let's talk about this for a second, man. How's life been since yesterday at the game around 105, 106 p.m., man? Talk to me.
12:58 p.m. to be exact.
12:58 p.m.
Yeah, man. Sent the tweet out about Brian Robinson coming back, and the team playing many men by 50 Cent when he came out of the tunnel, and for whatever reason the tweet went viral. It's been on CBS Sports, Complex Magazine. I just did an interview with USA Today. I don't know why that tweet took off the way it did, but it's been dope, man. It's been dope.
That's crazy. You had an interview with USA Today?
Yeah, man.
What they talk about, man?
Asked me about the team, the state of environment, the moment when he came out. Then they kind of put like an entertainment spin on it, asked me about 50 Cent and other stuff like that. But it was cool though. A little quick 10-15 minute interview, but it was cool though.
Yeah, man, that was crazy, man. When man Slim was in the building. Slim, let me know if you want the link if you want to jump in, man. Let's talk about it, man. It's all good. All right, man. So y'all know how we usually do the post game, right? We're gonna get that part out the way, and then we're gonna get to the real gritty part. You know what I mean? So again, initial thoughts. Let's start with DT. What's your initial thoughts?
Repeat at this point, man. Like it's stuff every week.
Breeze, you going in and out, DT.
I felt like we played better.
You probably gonna hear me. You going in and out, DT. Come out.
I can hear you.
Go out and come back. This job breaking up. We'll start with you, CeeLo. What's your initial thoughts?
Yeah, so my initial thoughts, so close. So close. I mean, you can't get much closer than the 2-yard line, right? So that's my initial thought. So close, but not quite there. We'll talk more about it later, but that's my perspective. It was a sloppy game. I know a lot of people felt like it was a very entertaining game because it was so close, back and forth. I want to say it was like 3 lead changes. So from that perspective, it was really entertaining, but a lot of penalties, not a lot of flow. So basically, so close. That's my initial thought.
Where you at with it, Breeze?
It hurt, man. It hurt. Like CeeLo said, so close. It was a lot of highs and lows, up and down, back and forth. And I, like Silo said, we'll touch on it. It's just a lot of things need to improve. They are making improvements, but the things need to improve, and we got to get better. I'm still on that boat of there is still time, but we taking on water fast.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the comments. Mayo in the building. What's good, Mayo? My man Yam in Japan, man. Just getting up. Appreciate you for jumping in on with us, man. Appreciate you.
That's
DT,
awesome.
initial thoughts, man.
Lost of the game, bro. Like for real. That's all we can say right now. 1-4. The game we had a chance to win. We squandered it. On to Thursday night football, man.
On to Thursday night. On to Thursday night football. On to the next game, man. Man, we got into a lot of different type of conversations today. We've been talking a lot since yesterday. But when we look back at the game, man, what are any positives that you can take from this game that we can build towards the future? So we start with DT.
The question is, what is the future, man? Like, I'm trying to figure out in year 3 what like for real though, man. Like, I'm really trying to figure out what the vision, like, what is our identity? Like, it's year 3. I don't know. We're supposed to be a passing team like Kansas City, or we're supposed to be like a grit hard defensive team that's supposed to run the football. We have no offensive identity. Defense has been up and down aside from 2020. We're not playing backups this year. And everybody in our division, man, like, we're supposed to build our team up to play the Cowboys, the Eagles. Now we got to find a reason why we're not up to their par. We look outmatched, out-coached. I feel like we have talent. We probably need a little bit more. But I don't even think these guys are playing up to their potential, man. Like, defensive line, back 7. I'm going to be hard on this back 7, bro. Like, we ain't got no dogs. Like, we ain't got no Sean Taylor. We ain't got no D Hall. Like, we don't have one turnover in 5 weeks. That's atrocious, bro. And I just feel like, man, for Ron, yo, like, we got to start looking in the mirror, yo. Like, we got to find out who we are. And I don't know. I got more of that, but I'm gonna let CeeLo and Breeze handle it because I'm getting kind of a little testy to man, bro. I got a plate from the day,
bro. Go ahead, CeeLo.
Yeah, man. It's a great question. So takeaways, positives, right? That's your question. So positives. All right. I'm gonna try to be positive because I do think it was an overall competitive game, which means it had to be something that was okay in that game. I thought the positive was Montez Sweat. That dude was a dog. I mean, he had number 71 was not ready. I mean, I know he's probably just like we are, right? He's probably not, he's a backup for a reason. But Montez Sweat handled his business that day yesterday. The entire defensive line. I like the way, if you guys notice, I like the way whoever, Jack, they had him standing up a couple times. He had him moving around. I saw Sweat on the left side, right side. I really like that movement up front, in which Tannehill was just struggling all day. So that was a good thing. De'Ami Brown, right? We all was saying, hey, Deshaun, Doxson's gonna be out for maybe a couple weeks. We don't know. He stepped up and caught 2 touchdown passes. Great pass, great catches. Both of them were perfect execution. One was a one-handed catch, so that's a positive. So if I gotta choose a positive, those are probably the 2 big ones that come to my mind right now. So yeah.
All right, Breeze, where you at, Breeze?
I mean, CeeLo kind of just took both my answers, but I in addition, like Montez Sweat got his man yesterday. Like he was absolutely he came out there like he heard and saw everything that people have been saying about him this season, and was like, y'all got me messed up, and went out there and played like his head was on fire. So Montez Sweat for sure, but the whole D line though. Obata was getting after it. James Smith-Williams was getting after the whole D line of yesterday. Allen was still Allen. Everybody came to play yesterday on the D line. And again, also me personally, you know, I made a bet on De'Ami Brown to get 86 yards. Everybody
drinks on Breeze. Drinks on Breeze.
Everybody looked at me like
that man Breeze living a life, man. Sunday was fire.
It was a great Sunday.
All we had to do
was win.
6 feet. And we just get 6 feet, and my Sunday is perfect. But yeah, man. Yeah, De'Ami, like just to build on it, to add to it, like De'Ami Brown in the whole D line for sure. So hopefully, you know, when Dotson gets back, which won't be this week, or Thursday, De'Ami can continue to build and add to what we already had with that receiver group.
Yeah, man, I think the receiver group is really coming into fruition when we talk about like us having one of the best receiving groups in the NFL, right? So, you know, we already know what Terry can do. We saw Jahan make big plays so far for us. We've seen what Samuels can really do. You know what I'm saying? And now that fourth guy to a lot of people was De'Ami, right? He had last year. The thing was, you know, we didn't have a quarterback to push the ball downfield, and that's exactly what he does. He has speed. He gets down the field. Yeah. Now we was able to see that yesterday, right? We was able to see him, and it wasn't just like he was like entire. I mean, he was open, especially in that first jump. He straight smoked and ran past him, but it wasn't like it was like an easy catch, right? He still had to adjust a little bit. And he kept his balance. He held onto the ball, and he kept his feet moving. He didn't fall. He could have easily fell. We still would have been hyped, but he kept his balance. And then the second jump was just nasty, right? I think that's really been overlooked. I mean, he caught the jump with his left hand, like boom, caught it, just like he was going up for a layup. It was too pretty because he kept it in his left hand as he walked into the end zone. Bro, the man, he was, man, our top 4 wide receivers, man. Is one of the best in the league, man. That's something very proud to look forward to, man. In his team getting down the field, and of course, you know, you still got Cam Sims, which you really don't see a lot from him. I thought he was going to play more yesterday, but again, man, like that's something that's positive that we can really take.
To be honest with you,
from this game.
To be honest with you, I think the plan was probably to play Cam more, but De'Ami just kind of had the hot hand with the deep ball, and he was getting. He only had 2 catches, but he was getting open. Like I think it was more so just kind of ride with the hot hand and let De'Ami, you know, try to let De'Ami cook and let him build on that confidence. And Cam got opportunity later on in the game. You know, he wasn't able to pull it in, but I mean, he did have his opportunities too.
Yeah, man, my man DH is in the comments, man.
De'Ami.
Shout out DH, man. He been talking about De'Ami, man, all since last year, man, and he's been high on him. He told him he's gonna have a big game. I think he had 70 catches, 104 yards. Man, when he caught the first jump, I was like, man, Breeze almost dead, bro. He came back with that second Johnson. Yeah, my man just got paid. And I knew, and like when I first saw it, because like I said, I couldn't go to the game because I had prior obligations, but I was watching it on my phone. So when that happened, the first jump, I just bust out laughing because all I thought about was Breeze and DH. Yep. That's all I thought about was Breeze and DH. I was like, yo, this is crazy. And then when he caught the second jump with the one hand, I was like, good night.
Here's the funny part, though. Yeah. So after I didn't realize how long the first one was until people tweeted me. It was 75 yards. My bet was 86. So the very next drive, I think maybe 2 drives later, he was wide open in the middle of the field, wide open, and Carson threw the ball.
Was that the one that got tipped?
It got tipped.
It got tipped.
And the ball hit at his feet. I was like, bro, Carson is playing with my mind. I'm like, I know what I think of De'Ami, but like I understand, like De'Ami ain't gonna get 8 targets a game. Like I need these catches to be caught right now. Like,
right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
And then they went back to it, and hey man, it's gambling for.
Yeah, he was open. He was open. I mean, that one play you talk about, he was wide open, and I was like, this might be another, you know, because Yak, he could turn around and turn it upfield, but it was tipped. It was tipped.
Okay. I couldn't see the tip from the angle I had, but okay,
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
yeah,
He had like
yeah.
Carson had like 3 tips, which is so weird to me because he's like freaking 6'5". But anyway.
Yeah, that's that thing that I mean. Yeah, we say that for after, say that for the after party. Caleb in the building, and he want to talk about Breeze going viral. Yeah, man, we talked about that at the top, man. We gonna keep mentioning it as we go through the show, man.
Yeah,
my man, for y'all joining late, man. My man, the interview with USA Today,
USA
man.
Today. USA Today,
man. My man in the bag,
man.
That's
man.
legit.
Yesterday, and this is to all you that keep saying why you keep going to the games. This is why, because you can get the content that to make you go viral. HTTC, keep going to the games, man. It's about the fan experience. Yesterday could have changed my man's life because he's still going to the game, still supporting the team. My man on his way, man. Man, just don't forget about me, man.
Man, I
right.
ain't gonna forget about nobody, man.
I just want to drink. I just want to drink. I just want one drink.
DH he gonna pop in for a couple of minutes, and in a few minutes, man, we're gonna get back. We're gonna let him cook about Diami, man. Anybody else want to come in, man? Just send me a DM, man. We're gonna get you in here if you want to chop it up a little bit. Caleb say, ask I'm St. Brown. What does he think of Diami now? That's right, man. Diami's out there cooking, man.
Karma, you can't be out here talking about people. You see what happened. I'm around St. Brown. They ain't done a whole lot since he opened his mouth.
That whole team ain't done a lot since they opened their mouth.
Yep, he been hurt. He been hurt too. So it's the same thing, man. Like you can't you just you just can't do that, man. Like
that's hilarious.
It's crazy funny, man. But nah, though, like when you think about Diami, man, I know we're gonna chop. Look, let's wait for let's wait for DH, man. Because I know DH want to chop it up. We gonna get back to him, man. But like for Thursday, right? Just for Thursday, what does the team need to do to improve to get the win against this severely underwhelming team? We'll start with you, Breeze.
Find anybody not named Norwell to play left guard. First and foremost, we got to fix the O-line issues, man. It doesn't matter. I know, I understand Carson has had his struggles, and but we got to fix the O-line issues, and Scott Turner got to stop playing Madden. I don't know what's going on with his play calling selection, but it's still the same problems of no real flow and rhythm to the play call, and no real. I mean, even the interception play, to me it seemed like there was only one real read on that play, and even having McKissick even caught the ball, he'd have caught the ball on the goal line or maybe the 1 yard line. He wasn't even in the end zone. Yeah. So like stuff like that, like you can't have those kind of mistakes and errors, in those moments. Now, granted, McKissick could have just run a bad route. I don't know what the play call was, or the actual play design was. But fixing the O-line issues, and Scott Turner has to find some. As long as he's the OC, he's got to find some kind of rhythm with his play calling.
Yeah, and when we think about that play, and we'll probably talk about it more. But like he didn't dig it enough, right? He didn't run the angle hard enough. Even if he would have caught it, it would have been in front of the goal line. You know what I'm saying? In between the goal line and the one. So that route wasn't ran deep enough, and McLaurin route. And oh man, we're gonna get into this too, because I still can't believe they use that man as a decoy. I'm highly upset with that. But even still, like he didn't run his route deep enough, and he got man at the goal line, knocked way off his route. But for you, DT, what's some things that need to improve to get the victory on Thursday?
I mean, from watching Sunday, even though we lost, I like some of the stuff we did, man. We were able to get to the passer. We played defense, at least solid enough, unlike the 62-yard bomb they dropped on us. But the offense, man, just look, like Bree said, we got to protect Carson. We know what Carson is at this point, but he can't do his job if you can't block for him. And we can't run the ball if you can't block for your running backs. So we got to find a balance somewhere so we can help this offense out and the defense. Special teams doing his job, defense doing his job. We got the weapons, man. Like we are deep at wide receiver, and that's something we've been telling a lot of the people outside the fan base that and Diami showed up being like he has potential to be the fourth receiver, and that's scary for his skill set. So yeah, those are my keys right there, man. Just play like you did Sunday, but this time come out with the dub, bro.
CeeLo?
I would say so. I'm guessing it's going to be a little chilly out there. Not quite, December chilly in Chicago, but it'll be a little chillier. So
let me check because I got it locked and loaded. I got it locked and loaded.
Because you going. So you and Mayo. I'm hating.
I gotta make sure my fit right. Yeah, it'll be like 40 degrees out there.
See, so not great for you. not great for you, but that's football weather right there, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, go run the ball, man. Just that's it. Go figure out a way to run the football. Get 3 to 4 yards of carry at some point. Don't let Norwell sit back there and mess up your whole game plan. Put him in a position to succeed. If you're gonna play him, because I'm guessing it's 3 days, you're probably gonna end up playing him. So if you're gonna play him, make sure he's moving forward, or maybe make sure he's moving left or right. Don't let him sit back and fall into somebody's lap and get bull rushed and get a sack. So put him in a position to succeed. Get him out there moving. That's the only way you're going to score points or at least move the football. On defense, man, I don't know what.
If you're my bad, I'm sorry to cut you off. But
No, you're good.
If you're referring to that clip that at this point might be just as viral as I am, with him basically getting bull rush standing flat footed, bro.
He was shooting a free throw, bro.
Bro, there is no.
He was shooting a free throw
ever. There is no excuse ever for an NFL offensive lineman who is supposed to be pass blocking to get caught like that. Like that looked like y'all know when it's a good high school team playing a bad high school team, or even a decent high school team, and that good team has a real good defensive lineman that y'all know can't really be blocked, and he's being blocked by somebody who shouldn't be blocking him. That's what that looked like. He just stood up, pushed him in the chest, and he just fell down flat. Like it was, oh my god, bro.
He looks. I know. I mean, I share your frustration. He looks out of shape. Now, I mean, I know he's playing horrible. I get that. But he actually looks. He doesn't look like he's in shape. Like either he's, I'm not giving him excuses, but he doesn't look like he can run 10 yards without dying. He looks sloppy. And I don't remember if he was injured over the over the summer, and maybe he never got. I just don't. Whatever the reasons are, he's not ready to be playing professional football at this point in his career. But to your question, Thursday, they got to figure out a way to run the football. Let these guys move forward. Move it, run away from Norwell, run to the right side, and let them dudes go and cook on the right side and do all the things you want to do on the right side, and almost eliminate Norwell's play altogether if it's possible. And then defensively, just keep doing your thing. I'm not worried about Chicago. I mean, obviously he's a very athletic quarterback. That's always a worry of mine. So keep him in front of you, just like they did with Jalen Hurts. But other than that offense is not scaring anybody.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's what it was like, right? He looks like out of shape. He has long hair. He doesn't look clean. I don't know, man. He was just standing there like he was about to shoot a free throw. One of the Joe, he got straight manhandle. He just knocked him. He just fell straight back, and he tried to run and try to push him. Man, he looked bad. And then after that, he was all jumpy and all that. Man, it was bad, man.
No emotion. He got up. He just wiped himself off, went back to the auto. There's no accountability. I'm not sure why they keep putting them out there. We have to have. I mean, anybody, somebody.
They drafted Chris Paul. Let him play.
Yeah. So somebody has to be better than that. And what did they see? My last point. What did they see in Norwell that said, you know what? That guy can play. What did they see?
He started in Jacksonville last year. Jacksonville was the worst team in the league, and they cut him. Why would you then go sign him? That we essentially traded Brandon Scherrer for Andrew Nolan.
Essentially, yep. And then they saw him all off season, and everything you saw that led up to week one. Did you say, or who said that dude can ball? I need to know who that is and fire him, because what did they see? Like it's practice. You practice for a reason, right? What did they see? Anyway, that's frustrating, man.
Riri, what's up, Riri?
Saw lumberjack, man. He a
Lumberjack.
man. I keep telling y'all that. He can't chop block.
Let him go chop. Go ahead, and chop some trees somewhere else, away from Washington D.C.
That's exactly what he is, man. He's right, man. He's a lumberjack. That's funny, man. Riri said, Caleb, Breeze don't know us no more. The street saying Breeze, the street saying Breeze don't win Hollywood. The streets talking, man.
Breeze like who? I don't know what you're talking about.
Never, man.
Oh man, that's man, it's crazy, man. So like we talk about all those things to improve, and one of the things we talk about is the offensive line, right? Like when we think about the offensive line, and we all kind of say, okay, you bring in Chris Paul, right? So that'd probably be Leno, and you probably want to move Charles over to left. You got Leno, Charles. Hopefully Larson is ready to go. Hopefully they sat him out yesterday to give him a little more time, to prepare. Hopefully he'll be able to start on Thursday. And then you put Paul, and then you have Lucas, right? So you go out there with that, man. I mean, what more? I mean, if Paul get out there and get bum rushed, it ain't like it wasn't already happened. It wasn't like, somebody that was really good got injured and he came in and he was trash. The dude in front of him is trash. So go with the rookie, go with the next guy in line. So when it comes to the offensive line, other than kind of making those adjustments, how do you, and anybody can go, how do you all feel that, we can improve the offensive line? Because there's other things that we can do, but I'm gonna let y'all shoot
it. Man, listen, you can change.
I mean, like
you can change the blocking schemes. You can run play calls and play designs where they don't have to sit back and pass it for 4 or 5 seconds. You know what I mean? There are different ways to kind of work around it. And even as far as replacing 1 or 2 players, the players replacing them don't have to be elite. They just have to be better, which at this point is not hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's plenty of ways to work around. Like you said, you can run away if you gotta play Norway, you can run away from Norway, or don't put him in situations where he's pulling, knowing he can't hit the edge like that. It's plenty of ways that you can kind of work around it. But what you can't do is go out there and keep doing the same thing with the same people, because at this point we know it does not work. As a unit. Like Leno hasn't been bad. Charles was okay yesterday, but like, you know what I'm saying? But like as a unit, it doesn't work.
DT, what you use about this?
Yeah, and I think for me is we're trying to find some kind of like right now, because so many injuries have happened during training camp, then leading on to the season. You had Trey Turner had a quad injury; he was never fully healthy. Schweitzer had a hip injury, and Schweitzer was playing. And he would definitely be on the left side. Either way, he's a valuable starter. But to see what Chris Paul has, man. This guy played with Tyler Smith, the first rounder, and so with that ball, and he's looking good so far. We just need to see just the hell off the line, not only Masco, but Scott Turner as well, especially running the ball, Ryan Robinson, Tony Gibson, and J.D. McKissick. Just have to find some continuity right now.
Yeah, man. We got somebody about to join us who who's leading the train on Noel. He's not a big Noel supporter. He's not a big Noel supporter. But I think like when you think about Carson Wentz, and I know a lot of people say that, when you think about this offense and being able to improve the offensive line, you try to help them out, right? You try to quick passes. That seeming is not working. Not only are they like getting through so quick, but it does seem like Carson has the timing down with the receivers yet. Like that's seeming to be an issue also. And then when you talk about bootlegging and moving the pocket, I don't know, man. I don't know if Carson can move side to side. Like I don't know if that's going to benefit the offense by moving the pocket and putting them out on bootlegs. Because even when he's running lateral, it's like, or when he's running like forward, north to south, it seems like he's taking forever to get started. You know what I mean? So how do you all feel about when people say, let's just move the pocket?
Yeah. So I said it before. I think in our last post game, man, I didn't watch a lot of Colts film. I didn't realize how, I guess, slow Carson is. Like I have it in my mind that Carson that came on the scene, what is that, 2016, 2017?
Mhm.
And he was killing us. I mean, he was all over the place. He was like a faster, stronger Big Ben, right? He can move around on the run. He could throw it on the dart. Like I remember those plays like it was yesterday. So it's crazy. It's taken me like 5 games to realize this is not the same Carson Wentz. So to your point, yeah, moving the pocket and getting them on the run, that may not be a strength anymore. I don't know. He can move a little bit though. He's not completely a statue. So nothing wrong with moving the pocket to help out Norwell and these guys to facilitate that pass rush or to offset the pass rush. But I didn't realize how stuck in like quicksand his feet are back there. And so we're in a situation where he needs to have protection. He needs to deliver the football on time. And that's where we're stuck. That's why where we are today. He does not have that level of protection required to be successful. It's just what it is.
Yeah, man. My man Hawk is in the building. What's up, sports sciences?
What up, Hawk?
What's up, Hawk, man? Appreciate you for stopping through,
Hey, yo,
man.
dudes, you just brought up my fault. My bad.
No, go ahead.
You just brought up something that I hadn't really put a whole lot of thought into. As far as with the timing with the receivers, I don't think it's any coincidence that Carson's kind of security blanket is Jahan Dotson. Because Jahan Dotson is the one receiver that Carson has had since draft day that's been available to him the whole time. Terry was not available until training camp. Curtis was in and out of practice, with their plan for him. And Biomich wasn't getting first team reps really. Like Jahan is the one receiver that's really been with Carson since he got here. That might mean something. Granted, it's been months now. I would think they have some kind of connection, but that might have something to do with it.
Yeah, because it seems like between them two, the timing is just perfect, right? Like,
It's
like everything the back shoulder throws, the over the shoulder throws, the slants, the leading up the middle of the field, like all that stuff seems like it's all timing. Like all of those routes he run near the goal line when we were so good in the red zone, the timing of it was just perfect with him. And those plays was like specifically for him. If you go back and look at it and say, okay, this was like built for him, and for him not being there that game, you can see it, right? Carson looked shook. Like it's like everyone, it's just it wasn't like good timing. I mean, the routes wasn't ran right, and that's why we talk about audibles and stuff like that. But we're gonna get in that. We're gonna get into that a little later, man. Go ahead.
Also, I was gonna say, I also think that when you notice when Carson misses, he misses high, and he'll go way high, like out of bounds kind of high, right? So he's definitely getting a little skittish back there based on the protection, and so a combination of the protection, not having Jahan was definitely a factor. One last thing, I just read on I think it was Kime that posted it. Jahan said it's the first game he's missed since his junior year in high school.
That's crazy.
First game he's missed. He does not get injured.
He probably ain't put down the football yet.
Yep.
The whole time he was been out, and you can see like even at the games, like when they walking back in the tunnel and all that, like in between halves, he got the ball in his hand. Yeah, he got a football in his hand. So it wasn't a bit.
He loves ball.
It wasn't a bit at all, man. It was.
He loves ball.
It was the truth, man. But look, we got some people in the building, man. We're gonna go to commercial break, pay some bills, then we gonna come back. All right, we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Christian Miles, native Washingtonian and real estate agent servicing the Washington metropolitan area. I started my career as an investor and later transitioned to the residential side. I really wanted to leave the investor side because I wanted to connect with people. Building relationships is important to me. I understand the buying and selling process can be challenging. I get it. I've been there. I'm a mom, wife, friend, and neighbor. I absolutely love helping families and connecting with people. Going through the home buying and selling process is stressful enough. When working with me, I make it fun. As a realtor, I think it's important to be able to connect with you. Every detail is important, no matter how small. Let me take care of the heavy lifting while you focus on the joys of finding a new home. Something I live by, people may not remember what you said, but they will always remember how you made them feel. With me, it's an experience.
Welcome back to Enters the Lab Live Show with Lady E, Mayo, Slim, See Him.
All right, in the building. Okay, this how we gonna do this. This how we gonna do this. This how we gonna do this. Let me hit these 3 dots right here. Okay, Breeze is away. He's probably getting a call from
his agent.
Fox 5. Well, your screen blacks. Your screen is black, so he's probably getting a call from Fox 5. But let's do this, man. Let's get a man a solo layout, man. Hey, talk about it, De'Ami Brown. Talk about it, bro.
Look, man, you see it right here. Let De'Ami look, man. I've been real talk. I've been politicking for this for a long time, man. And to see him really coming to fruition on Sunday, man, it was a big deal. And I ain't gonna lie, man, I shed a little thug tear for that first catch, right? And then the second one, man, I know NFL Films got me somewhere with my shirt off, bro, because I'm telling you. But no, real talk. I think really more or less it's because, see how hard he worked, and like really everybody had been doubting him. And I've been saying all he needs was an opportunity. And by opportunity, I meant, getting some reps, getting some opportunities where he can like really contribute to the game. And he was able to do that on Sunday. And granted, it was only 2 catches, but it was 2 big catches, 2 touchdowns, the first 2 of his career, and it definitely won't be the last one.
So how often did you see this at UNC?
I mean,
I know against Penn State, Maryland last year, he cooked us.
But look, all his college career, that's the main thing he was good at. That's one thing I said when we drafted him, is that he can make the deep ball play. You know what I'm saying? That Carolina offense was an RPO type offense, so the run game was a big threat. So when the run game is working and it's effective, when that play action comes, De'Ami is wide open at the top, and we would see that in multiple weeks, especially during the campaign where Sam, if he could have came out that year, he would have been a top pick. He was mentioned in the Heisman running because of the great run game that they had and because of the effectiveness that De'Ami had on the offensive side of the ball. So when I would really go out on a limb and like really talk about De'Ami, it's because I've seen every catch, I've seen every play, as a Tar Heel, and then to really get him here in his offense where he can truly be effective. I'm just excited, man. I'm excited for him because it's a big deal for him. I know he's been working big time for this, but also for this fan base to kind of show him like, hey, man, we got guys really, like we got guys that can really get on. I've been saying this, the team gonna roll with the high hand. So whoever is balling out, we gonna keep it rolling.
Yeah, man. So when we talk about like De'Ami Brown and what he can do to this offense, BH, now that we've seen him work, right? Like we've seen him get open. We've seen him make difficult catches. That's not an easy catch in the NFL when you're moving that fast. Man, Carson put that joint on the button both times. He caught the ball. He kept his balance. He kept his feet. He didn't fall over. He kept his feet. And then the second joint was just outstanding. I mean, he caught the joint one hand, kept it with one hand. It'd have been even better if he'd went to the goal post, laid it up with the same left hand. Like that just would have been like the exclamation point. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna start with DH. Now that we see what he's able to do, like they talked about it for so long. Now that we've seen it, what type of role is he's going to be put in, into this offense when like Jahan comes back and everything is there?
I think he'll still have a similar role. Okay. So how they kind of used him on Sunday, I think he'll still have a similar role, because you got to think when the offense does finally get going, right? and the run game does get going, you know what I'm saying, you'll have him to be able to kind of blow the top off the defense. I mean, for goodness sake, he got caught Caleb Farley bench yesterday. I was looking at Caleb Farley standing right in front of me. Okay, where we were sitting, and he was standing next to his position coach, like, "Can I go back in? Can I go back in?" With his helmet on and everything. You know what I'm saying? So I seen the way that they used him yesterday. And if they can kind of do that in spots, he'll definitely be the home run hitter. He'll definitely be the guy that they want to stretch the defense and kind of go over the top with. And I'm interested to see how he is gonna affect the offense when everybody does get healthy again. Because, like you said, you know, you got multiple guys that can do multiple things. So having him come back into play, you'll still have to use him because now you know what he can do, right? So you have to be able to get him the ball, and help him help your offense.
Yeah. Brittany, appreciate you for stopping by. Brittany down in the comments. Welcome. Thanks for joining us, Brittany. We do got a question from Hawk, and we could bring it to the room. And anybody in the comment section. It says, question for you all. Yeah, you good, Breeze. My man got 2 phones. Hey, I'm staying on this, bro. Like you
Trying to get like
you about
Breeze.
to be annoyed. You about to be annoyed like a
Breeze, can I have the number to the algorithm, please? Give me the number to the algorithm because I need
I'm
to
gonna have
call.
I'm gonna have my people call your people, bro. I got
So they
you.
gonna text me. I'm not people.
But my man Hawk say, never thought I'd see the day where we have too many receivers that can contribute on this time. This is gonna be something we're gonna talk about too, about the too many receivers. Then he says, would you consider trading 1 or 2 for assets? I'll start off and say I don't think we're there yet. Like, we've seen flashes from everyone. I mean, we know who Terry is. We know they're not trading him. They just paid him the big bucks. And the young guys, like, we've seen flashes, but they still have to be consistent. Could you trade him and get good value for him? Yeah. But should you? No. You just had him for a second year for Diami, and this is Jahan rookie year. Even if you do go into a full rebuild, which we will talk about later, these are the guys that you want to build around. Like, this is the guys that you want to build around because they still young on their contracts. But we'll start with you, Breeze. How you feel about the Hawks question?
I ain't trading a soul, especially considering that Scott Turner seems to only want to throw the football. Like you said, Terry's not going anywhere. They just drafted Jahan. He's not going anywhere. Ron Riviera, as long as he's the coach, is not letting Curtis Samuel go. And Curtis, we've seen that Curtis can be very effective, you know, when used properly. And now we're down to Diami. You know, I know DH let Diami go nowhere. You know, I actually wanted Diami Brown going into that draft 2 years ago. And so when we got him, I was ecstatic about it. I'm not trading Diami. We saw what Diami could potentially be moving forward yesterday. Granted, a very small sample size in his career, but Cam, and I don't even think Diami has much trade value. Neither does Cam Sims or Dax Milne. So the people who have trade value aren't going anywhere, and the people you might want to trade don't have much trade value to let them go when you have an offensive coordinator that wants to throw the ball 45 times a game.
Mm-hmm. How about you for DG?
I'm like you, man. I'm not there yet with trading guys. This is a young, healthy group of guys that have different skill sets that provides an impact for our offense that we haven't seen in a while. And we saw that with Diami. And to me, Diami reminds me so much of Gabe Davis for the Buffalo Bills, what he can do.
Okay.
He can have that type of game any Sunday when he gets the opportunity. And Terry is as advertised. He had that crazy catch yesterday over the middle, which nobody talked about. I was like, oh my God, Terry is sick. A dog, bro. And look, man, Jahan might be the truth, man, because we get in the red zone and we're having a hard time to score like that. He might be the red zone freak right now. And Curtis Samuel, he's the Swiss Army knife. So we'll get to it later on, talk about the rebuild and all that stuff, because it probably goes into that. But I'm not trading nobody from this. This is strength right now.
CeeLo?
Yeah, I'm with all y'all. I think the only thing that I think about when it comes to trades in NFL, usually in NFL, is, are you going to extend this guy or not, right? So, for example, if Diami was going into his 4th year or his 3rd year, do you want to extend him? Yes or no? If your answer is no, then yeah, of course you look for trading people before they go in free agency. So That's how I look at it, right? So right now, none of those guys are in this situation. You know, Curtis is a free agent. We just re-signed, you know, Terry, yada, yada, yada. So they're all on rookie contracts. It's silly to even think about trading any of these guys when they're on their rookie contract. That's the whole point of the draft. So, and getting great value out of them. So yeah, that's where I am right now.
Breeze.
No, Breeze went already, didn't he?
Oh,
Yeah, I went first.
oh, you went first.
I mean, I can add to it, but you know what I mean. Like,
Wait.
No trading, man. No trading. And I think it's just echoes the sentiments of what you guys are saying is that for the first time in a long time, we have an offense where, you know, it's really who's the hot hand. You know what I'm saying? Of course, you know that Terry's your mainstay, right? That's your big money guy. That's your guy that's going to be there. He's been there for you. But now to be able to kind of spread it around to somebody else, you know what I'm saying? Jahan came out. He just balled out. You know, Diami balled out yesterday. Curtis Samuel, like you said, DT is a Swiss Army knife. You know, we got guys that can kind of do a lot of different things. And I think for a while, we haven't had that versatility. We've kind of had to depend on whether it's Pierre and Deshaun. You know what I'm saying? Or whether back in the day where you had, you know, Armand, Gary Clark, and Ricky Sanders. But, you know, it was kind of just them. But now we really, truly like, I mean, the jury's still out on Dax Milne on the offensive side of the ball.
No, it's not.
You think so? He said the jury's not out. The case is closed.
The case is closed, bro.
It's really got guys, you know, from the top to bottom that, you know, can kind of affect the game. So I think right now, no. Let's get everything out of everybody before we even think about moving on from anybody.
and even to CeeLo's point about, like, you know, guys going into, like, you know, last year's of their contract, if you don't plan on extending them, as it pertains to the wide receiver group and guys that we think would potentially be traded, like, what kind of value would they not getting back? So like I said, I think we can all agree the top three guys aren't going anywhere, right? So that you're looking at like Diami and Cam potentially as potential trade pieces if you were to trade somebody. What do you think that would get back in return? Like, talk about maybe a 6th-round pick at best.
It wouldn't even be worth it. You might let them ball out for you.
You're gonna replace them for a player that might not be on a roster a year from now. You know what I mean? Or a draft pick to pick somebody who might not be. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's another thing that goes along with it with NFL trades, especially in season, is the value. You know what I mean? The trade value you would get back in return. But yeah, I'm not trading nobody. Me personally, I love Terry McLaurin. Like, I think we can all agree on that. I personally, being the wide receiver connoisseur that I am, I think, you know, 3 years from now, we might be talking about Jahan Dotson being a better receiver than Terry McLaurin is. I think he has better natural hands. He's a little more natural route runner than Terry is. Like, you know what I mean? I'm keeping that together as long as I can. Now, I'm not gonna break that up, whether it's for Scott Turner or anybody that may come behind him. I'm not breaking that up.
That's right.
Now, one more thing. Think about what Tennessee just did, right? Didn't they just trade AJ Brown to the Eagles?
Mm-hmm.
They probably could have used him yesterday, right? Now, I don't know what their thought process was. They didn't want to pay him, I guess, but I just feel like this is an offensive league, man. You don't. I don't know. I just feel like you do everything you can to keep that talent together until it's the last possible opportunity. So maybe we look back and AJ Brown has a horrible career. I don't know, but I feel like you keep those guys together as long as they're healthy, as long as they produce.
Yeah, especially if they're not up for a contract. The guy that was, you paid him, so let's keep it moving.
Exactly.
And I think that's the. And then when we think about Sweat, that was the next question from Hulk. He was asking about Sweat. And that's a tough one, right? You got Chase coming up, but I hate to kind of put this out there, but Chase has all the tools and all the traits, but how do we know, right? I mean, we saw flashes in his rookie year. It wasn't consistent flashes. There were flashes, right? I think he had like 3 sacks in one game, and he had a lot of dud games too. Like, where are you all with like Sweat?
If I can, I think that wide receiver room and the defensive line room, I think you leave both of those rooms alone, because I think, in my opinion, those are the 2 most talented rooms in your building, and I think you can always have a good talent in those spots. Now, here's the caveat, right? So, and I don't even want to put this in the air, but let's say we get to a point in the season where it's looking, you know, Memphis bleak. You know what I'm saying? So if it's looking like that, and you got a guy you might need to move on from, I would say they're definitely in the defensive line room. but not because I would want to. It would just be advantageous as an organization when you really gotta think forward and kind of move on from what's going to happen this year. I think that would be the only room that you could possibly pull from. But I mean, if you ask me to a man, bro, I don't want to move nobody, because I think they have been the most consistent position group this season so far is that defensive line. Yeah, the back seven can't cover nobody, but that front four, I'm telling you, if they get their hands on you, it's a wrap. And you see it every week with Deron Payne. See how Montez Sweat affect the game. You see how Jonathan Allen is a consistent professional. And when Chase Young comes back, he's going to add back into that mix. And I wouldn't even want to mess that mojo up.
And
So
let's
the only
talk
thing-
about this. Hold on, Bree. Let's shout out Kim. Kim is in the building. Appreciate you, Kim. Appreciate you for stopping by. South eat talking about NY trade for like Capri Sun and that
Ham sandwich is crazy.
Kim was asking, where you at, Breeze? I guess she's trying to see you. She's trying to get closer to the screen. Kim can't see you.
He's like he's somebody for multiple press interviews. He looks like
I think she's talking about like where he is physically. He's in a studio.
Oh,
he's
yeah,
getting his makeup ready.
Yeah, he's been down at Fox 5 and NBC, and next thing you know, he's gonna be up in the booth. Watch next game.
Gonna be on First Take tomorrow.
I got a suit ready. Just give me the call. Go.
But this
Going
is one
up
thing
to
that DH said, and Dirk Snyder's in the building. What's good, Dirk? My man, Dirk. I wouldn't trade anyone. This is Daniel Snyder, I believe. This is Daniel Snyder. I mean, yeah, this is who I think Dirk Snyder is. I wouldn't trade anyone, but I also don't think there's anyone on this roster that we don't need that's worth anything. That's a tough one, man. Like that's crazy. But I think a lot of people miss the whole thing about DH and Memphis Bleak, right? I know all you guys on here is all about hip hop, but that's the dude that had the most backing. He was the most what's the word I'm looking for? Like they put the most in him.
He was supposed to be next up.
Yeah, they wanted him to be
Yep.
so great. They boosted him. They did all this stuff, and he never performed. Right? He was never that guy. Yeah, he's supposed to be like heir apparent, the Jigga, and Jigga, he just kept putting him on. That was the one dude that he continued to try to put on, but he never was able to follow through, man. And that's something, man. When you call somebody, it's like Memphis Bleak, like that's Bleak. It's like all that matches. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
So I'm gonna go against the grain, right? Like DT alluded to, depending on the way the season is going, you got to make some decisions. You can't wait until the offseason. They got to have a list. They have to have some priorities. Who are you going to sign? Cole Holcomb, Sweat, Payne, whatever. If you don't intend on signing these guys or extending these guys, why are you holding on to them? Like, why? I mean, are you going to just mess around and play the tag game? Or are you going to mess around? You might as well get good value when you can at their peak to be able to continue to build your roster. That's what a smart GM does. That's what the Howard Rosemans do. That's what these guys do to continue to try to add to their repertoire in terms of draft picks. Because you got to continue to get younger. You got to continue to get more talent, because that's the only way to survive in the NFL, because it's a fixed cap. So you can't pay everybody. So that's where I am. So I don't want to see Sweat leave. I don't want to see Payne leave. But unfortunately, I don't know if both of them are going to be back, just giving away our and then we don't even have a real legit quarterback, right? So what if good reason, what if actually Carson Wentz turns it around and we go 12 straight games, right? Guess what? We got to pay Carson Wentz. So I just feel like there's going to be some decisions that have to be made. And as a GM, you got to think about this stuff. And it's going to be some hard decisions. You just can't keep everyone. That's all.
I think Sweat is the most valuable. Like, I think right now, if you were to shop him, he would get the most, he would garner the most attention.
I think Payne might be the most valuable.
Between them two?
Yeah.
Well,
defensive is that Sweat is an edge rusher and Payne's a defensive tackle, so teams might value the edge rusher a little higher.
Right. That's what I was gonna say.
Player this season.
Either
right.
or,
I agree.
If you shopped either or, I think you would definitely garner a good a good return on either of those guys. I don't want to see it happen. Hey, that's hilarious. I don't want to see that happen. I don't want to see that happen, but it could happen.
Darn crazy. He always doing looking like.
I wholeheartedly agree with you, CeeLo, as far as, if the season is lost and you know what I'm saying. But I think the only thing is, I think at that point, when we talking about potentially unloading proven talent for unknown commodities like draft picks, then at that point, you're now talking, that's kind of, to me, kind of admitting, okay, it's time to rebuild this. To me, if you're going to let the Ron Payne go, my bad, go ahead.
So question for you, Breeze, and everyone. So do we think that, okay, so I know what I know what DH said. Do we think
I'm sorry, CeeLo. This
what did Sal say? Oh, yeah. That's cut Norwell. Hey.
That dude crazy.
Cut Norwell. So do y'all, I know Chase isn't back yet, so it's a little bit of an unfair question, but do y'all think the defensive line is producing to the level that you expected them to produce and they need to produce? Honest question. I know he had a great game yesterday, Sweat, but that was his first sack in a whole season. So, honest question: do y'all think the D-line is performing the way that it should be? That's why I say I know we as fans, we love these guys, but we had to come to a realization that, unfortunately, it don't always work out. So you got to just make some tough choices. I'm not saying I want that. It's just a question you got to ask yourself.
So if I can, I just think with some of these guys, they just affect the game differently, right? And that's the kind of thing I kind of went back on when we were talking about Chase Young whenever he comes back, right? They want him to be like TJ Watt, you know what I'm saying, or a lot of these other guys. But the thing is, I just want him to affect the game. Just be a game wrecker. If you may not get sacks, but if you get hurries and pressures and you getting bat downs, that's just as good to me as a sack. You know what I mean? I just want you to affect the game. So I would I would want to look at some advanced stats to kind of see what
good point.
Sweat has done this year.
We were number 4 in pressures leading up to this game.
Okay.
Defense.
So yeah, I mean, they're getting back there. They may not just be getting sacks, but I think he's still affecting the game. But a lot of this ain't gonna show up in the stat sheet when you look at the nuts and bolts of kind of how the day went.
Yeah, but that's the thing about like why the defense is so underperforming as a whole and like creating turnovers. We're a -7 differential in the league with turnovers. When you're getting pressures, yeah, it has to be like when you're getting pressures.
31.
When you're getting pressures like that, like we should be getting turnovers. But the quarterbacks is like, nah, I'm just gonna throw it up, and I know where our receiver gonna get them. Ever since Jalen Hurts exposed us, it's like they just like, yeah, we just throwing this joint up in the air and whatever. Like Tannehill ain't putting them joints. He wasn't like, I got one step up. He's just like, nah, I'm just gonna throw this joint up because the film tells me that my guy gonna come down with it. And I think that because we haven't had a chance to really get out in front of teams, even last year, I think that takes away from the strength of our D-line to really see them work.
Fair.
And it's kind of sad that we haven't been able to do that these last 3 years or so.
That's fair.
I'll agree to that.
No,
it's just like it's just when you look at like Dallas and Philadelphia, right? You see how much they impact our offensive line. Now I know like our offensive line has been up and down and stuff like that, but I watch other games like they don't have a lot of first round picks on their defensive line, but they impact the game. Now Dallas have Micah Parsons, a first rounder, but the way they scheme up pressures, their stunt game is crazy. The way they send their guys around the corner, like that's something that I think we need to be more creative. It's finding a way to get our guys the big pressures and big sacks and stuff like that. I think with Chase Young, when he comes back, we'll be able to do that. I truly believe Chase Young is a game record. Like I watched this guy at Ohio State as a freshman. He always had that it factor. We saw it in 2020, regardless what offensive lines they had. And I think he helped Sweat. I think, Sweat kind of needs that Batman to help him out.
Montez Sweat is number 2 on the team in quarterback pressures at 8. Deron Payne has 9. Montez Sweat has 8. So he's affecting the game. Just not getting the sacks, but he is getting the pressure to the quarterback.
And we're not getting turnovers.
Yeah, I think that's
another big thing. Like if we were
turnovers is the bigger issue.
Yeah, if we were getting turnovers, it'd be more correlated to those pressures. but because the pressure's coming with no fruit to it, it's like it's being overlooked.
So that's definitely on our secondary, man.
Mm-hmm.
Not making the
I
plays
think
and not covering.
I think turnovers are weird. They'll come in bunches. Like I feel like, and I'm being a little bit of a homer, but like we'll get some turnovers. It just it's funny. Turnovers are weird. You can't really practice for them. You know, they will come. We got to take advantage of it though. We got to catch the ball to get floated up in the air. You know, things like that. You know, going for the strip. You know, going for the strip sack, not just a sack. You know, little things that we can definitely work on. But I feel like we'll get a few. It's just some bad luck, man, when it comes to turnovers. Like all that pressure and not generating any like tip balls or nothing like that. So it's weird.
Yeah. So this is what Ash said. He said keep both Payne and Sweat if you get cheaper, younger at cornerback. Now that's something right there, right? You got Kendall and you got WJ3. You get them off the books if you can get you a good corner, and we'll kind of get into that later. And it says wonder where they could find a high price underperformer cornerback to move on from. So I think it's money, right? And I don't know if I posted, but Kim said it earlier. Which when you see the Rams, it seems like it's this easy, right? Like we can pay them, get creative. You know what I'm saying? It's like when we see certain teams making moves and doing things, it's like, man, what are we talking about? Like they are like, I don't know, 800, whatever, 8 million or 28 million over the cap, but they making all this stuff happen. But it's going to be some decisions to be made, man. But the thing is that do we believe that this administration can make the necessary moves to be able to bring in all the value without letting go half of our team? And we're gonna get into that and the after party. CeeLo, you jumped out of turn, CeeLo. We're gonna get to the after party when we talk about that. After party is coming up, but we're gonna go to a quick commercial here, and then DH, if you want to stay with us, man, you're more than welcome to stay and chop it up with us. But we're gonna come out with some duds and dubs from the game. And last week was hard. I think DT took like a 30-second pause when I looked at the edits. So hopefully we'll be able to bring some good dubs and dubs to the show. Right.
Do you sit back and say, man, these walls just need something? Feel like it's time to freshen up your place with something new? If your answer is yes, then it's time to call Rob of Lewis Paints Plus, the accent wall expert. Rob will even give you a free estimate on how he can transform those boring walls in your home. To book today, call 240-418-5241 or reach out on Instagram at Lewis Paints Plus. And for 10% off, tell him Red Zone sent you.
If y'all don't know, my man DH, Darren Williams, voiceover actor, is the guy in the commercials. Appreciate you, bro.
Hey, man, I was listening. I was like, man, that voice, bro. Who is that? He was killing it, man. Shout out to him.
Man, we got some superstars on this pod right now.
Man, we live
straight superstars.
Day, man.
Butler, I mean, one of the most recognized. Wow, you gotta love it.
All right, man. We're gonna go to our section, man. We talk about duds, DUD, and dubs, DUBS of the game, man. We do offense and defense. Let's start with the DUDs. Let's start with the duds, man. Let's try to end off with a high note before we go into the after party. DH, you the guest. We're gonna start with you, man. Any dubs from the offensive side of the ball?
Duds or dubs?
DUB as in dub.
Hey, listen. Let me not get wild.
I already know.
You already know who it is. It's two. Yami freaking Brown yesterday went off like a man unhinged. You hear me? 2 catches, 2 touchdowns, 100+ yards in the mix, bro. Like
that boy good.
That boy's good. Brown, man, representing the 5-1 North Carolina Tar Heels. Don't let that be misunderstood either. The 5-1 Tar Heels, baby.
Oh, Kim already sent in her DUD for the offense, so we're gonna get to hers in a second.
I wonder what it could be.
She sent hers in already. All right, Breeze, who you got?
Well, I can't say Diami.
Yes, you
You
can.
can, you can.
I can't. I mean,
I think
De'Ami Brown.
it's-
De'Ami Brown for sure. No, I think Terry McLaurin had a good game when he got the ball. He had a really good game. He made people miss. Terry McLaurin is a very good wide receiver, great wide receiver. He just got to get
Yeah.
the ball more. So I'm gonna stay with it in the receiver room. I'm gonna go with Terry.
All right.
Because De'Ami was obvious,
Yep. CeeLo.
We're doing offense, right? Yeah, man, I gotta go with. I think I gotta go with Diami. He was, I mean, those two plays, those are only 2 touchdowns. I mean, he got open, he caught it. I mean, that's crazy. So, it's sad that it's only 2 touchdowns, but it's crazy that he's the ones that caught him. So I'm happy for him for sure.
Circle gets the square. There we go.
I'm going with Brian Robinson, man. That's my dub for the game, man. Brian
That's a
Robinson
good
is
one.
my dub for the game, man. The first run was called back. Was it Norwell?
Nah, it was
it was Lucas. Was Lucas with the hold?
Lucas.
I think it was
Lucas.
Lucas.
No. I thought it was no. I thought it was a tight end. I felt like it was like an 88 or something like that. I felt like it was
Rogers.
Rogers.
Rogers. That's what. Yep.
Monty Rogers.
Yep.
That's my man up, man. Got that rock to
Yep.
the thing.
He had a nice run.
Like 15, 20 yards.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
I was like, man, Ronnie Rogers.
And I don't even think the hole was even affecting the play. It was like a back end. It was on the back end. So, yeah.
That was crazy. DT, we doing DUBS dubs on offense. We got Diami a couple times. Who else we got? We got Terry and we got Brian. Who you going with?
Obvious would be Diami. I think the D line as a whole, they performed well yesterday. Those are 2 right now.
All right, so let's go to the. That's right, Kim. Because in the episode 5, I think, with DH and Take Command. Go ahead. He's the king of
Listen, on episode 5 of the Breaking Command podcast, we had Set the Edge as the illuminated board, man. So make sure you check in this week. A new episode is going to drop this Thursday before the game. We'll see what's on the board. And of course, if you'd like to pay to have your name here on the board, I can do that as well. We take, hey, look, we do it all. But no, man,
how much it costs? I want to pay. My friend is Breeze on there. My friend is Breeze.
That's $1 million per.
All right, so look, the first DUD. Oh, we got. Hold on, Kim. We got to do DUB for defense. All right, let's start with DT. Who is your dub for defense?
Sweat, because I called him out yesterday. I said literally in the pregame show, I was like, bro, he got to have a big game or something, bro. Like,
he heard you.
Get the press though. I need him to get a sack. I know he hear everybody talking like, he might not get the money. He ain't that guy and stuff like that. First play of the drive, puts the tackle right to Tannehill. Then next thing you know, he talking smack to Ryan. Not Tannehill, but Derrick Henry. So he was bringing that energy, bro. I loved it.
He took it serious. Whatever happened, he took it serious, man. And before we go on to the other defense, Art said Carson Wentz is his dub for the 3 save, low snaps, and overall play while under duress. And that low snap thing, man, is a serious issue. Hopefully Tyler Lawson can come back.
That's a good point.
Thursday, man. All right, next up, let's go with you, CeeLo.
Yeah, my Avi is Sweat's helmet. You know, it's that black 90, man. That thing go hard, and so I'm so glad to see him get his sacks and getting his numbers. I know sacks ain't everything, but unfortunately, that's how people are remembered when the checks come. So I want him. I honestly want to see him get paid. I want him to see him get produced. So I'm gonna say Sweat. Honorable mention I'll give to 31, right? He was all over the. I don't know if y'all noticed this, but he was all over the field. There was a keeper that that Tannehill did. He was right there for the keeper. Tannehill ain't got nothing. He got like 1 yard. So that dude is in my opinion, extremely good. Like I think he is on his way to be one like a superstar type good. So that's my 2.
Who you got, Breeze?
Montez Sweat for sure. Now y'all correct me if I'm wrong. I'm gonna add one more, but just correct me if I'm wrong because I was kind of in the moment yesterday. I'm being real. I think Benjamin St. Juste had a great game once he replaced William Jackson III. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think he was targeted too often on the on his side.
Yeah.
So if that is true, I'm gonna add St. Juste because we all know the secondary been getting lit up on the outside all season. So for him to come in, put him on the outside, him to hold his side down, that goes a long way, especially with the way the secondary has been playing this season.
Oh, another one was Cole Holcomb.
Yeah.
Dude, another North Carolina cat, but
man, because I was about to come with, man. I had my stats and everything together.
I ain't gonna lie, I was like, is he going to end Tannehill's career right now? Y'all saw that play?
Listen,
bruh.
Yeah.
He had 11 solo tackles yesterday, most by anybody between the two teams. Had with 4 assists, so that combined 15 tackles. Okay, he's affected the game, and of course he's a Tar Heel, man. You gotta love it. But quietly, he's accepted the challenge, and he started to play a whole lot better. Him and Jamin, if we want to be specific, but he's accepted the challenge. He's accepted that role, and he's been playing a whole lot better. He's been quiet. Everything we've been saying, nobody has mentioned how Cole Holcomb has affected the ball game on the defensive side of the ball with 11 tackles on yesterday. The Tar Heel, by the way.
Yeah.
Hey, Derrick Henry pretty good though.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, duds. We ready for duds. Let's start with. Let me see. I got a lot of comments. Let's start with offense, and here is Kim's dud for yesterday.
Wait, does he count? Does he count as an offensive dud though? Did he?
Yeah, he plays offense.
He had a couple snaps. He had a couple snaps.
He's definitely a special teams dud for sure. Like,
listen, I think he had like 2 or 3 snaps.
But he had on that last drive though. He had
the special team is offense. The kick return is considered offense.
Man, that
kickoff is considered defense.
But him on special teams is a liability, bro.
He was on the goal line play. He was in.
I saw.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was in.
Run out there, and I was like, "Yo, what is?"
And he was open. And he was open though.
Breeze, he's like, "Hey, we not punting. Get back."
No, bro. I'm so serious.
I'm about to tag CJ. He's a bum.
I think after one of his catches, Terry looked to the sideline and did like this. You know what I'm saying? We all know what that means, right? And I seen number 15 run onto the field. I'm like, hey, put anybody but number 15. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I think Diami had a groin or something, or hamstring or something.
I think it was a hamstring.
Yeah, so
like that, you expect some things to kind of get going because they're like, whoa, we doing all this work now, we balling out. He's got to nurse it, got to get it back together. But I'm glad you said that because that's kind of been somebody that I want to take over the special teams in the return game because he can return the ball, and that's somebody you can get to have an explosive play. But I know
at least punt return.
Exactly, at least that. But I know.
Yeah, I agree.
We are talking about
Diami.
I think. But did he do it in college?
Yes. He wasn't.
Yeah.
He wasn't.
Why they keep telling me? Why somebody keep telling me?
He wasn't the primary return man. Daz Newsome was the primary return man, but they would use Diami in certain situations, kind of how we use Santana in certain situations to get plays.
That's what I thought we would do with Dotson too, and people thought I was crazy. Like if you kicking a ball, if the other team is kicking between like anything less than like the 35 and goal line, if they kicking from there. Go ahead, man. Put Dotson out there. Diami. Put Diami out there.
You're a spark, man. That's what you need. And he would do that in certain situations. And I'm gonna tell you, he wouldn't just field the ball. He would be one of the guys that's gonna catch and gonna try to take it. You know, they are some kamikaze return men who are gonna try to take the ball and go anyway. But I think in certain situations, you can always sub somebody for Dax Milne to kind of see if you can get somebody to give you a spark after they make one or two people miss.
Yeah, man, I'm glad that Ron said that. Like, I never thought that Antonio Gibson was getting enough reps and enough runs to not be on kickoff return. I mean, most of the time they kick it out of the end zone. But now he's saying that, you know, since Brian is back, that Antonio will be back there. So hopefully that's the case, because there's no way you get the ball at the 17 and you get to like the 21-yard line. It's like,
so Diami does play kickoff though, kick return, not kick return.
On punt
they're
coverage.
in the kickoff team. Yeah.
Oh,
I
he's
just
on
remember
punt
after he scored that last touchdown, he went right back onto the field. So I'm just assuming he was going back out there to kick the ball off.
He's on kick coverage. He's on
kick coverage. Yeah.
And I'm kind of surprised because Dotson was out. So I'm kind of surprised they had him out there.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe they didn't have anybody else. All right, DH, offensive dud. Who you at?
Well, as a career offensive lineman, I'm gonna stick with the offensive line and say that, and I'm not just gonna call out one guy. I'm gonna grade him as a whole, right? Because on the offensive line, you are only as good as the person next to you, right?
That's so nice of you, DH.
I know, man. But as a career offensive lineman, I've learned that I'm only as good as my guard on the right and the left of me, because I played center, man. So if they can make me look good, you know what I'm saying, we good to go. But now I'm gonna grade them as a whole, man, because they got to get better as a whole. And with Norwell playing like how he's been playing, it's making all of them look bad. I think that has been the most disappointing position group this season. But I can't say that I didn't see it coming, because like we've been talking about all day, they haven't invested the money in that skill set like they needed to. So these are the results of doing that, of going bargain basement for these guys. So I'm gonna go with the offensive line as my dud.
There you go. D Snyder with you, man. He's the entire blocking offense. Who you got, DT?
Yeah, he's gonna grade the whole, but I'm gonna attack the one guy. The lumberjack, man. The lumberjack ain't good, bro. He need to go ahead and chop wood, bro. 4 straight plays, he was getting killed. He was looking like the meme. Not gonna lie, I'm getting cooked. He was getting cooked on live TV, bro.
I'm
getting
getting
cooked. And then Nick Martin too, bro. Like the 3 bad snaps to you a center, they could have been costly. We could have actually had 4 turnovers yesterday as it wasn't for Carson Wentz.
Yep. CeeLo.
I'm gonna go a little off tilter, right? So Norwell for sure. Like we can't say his name enough. And I'm gonna say Scott Turner. I'm gonna say Norwell and Scott Turner to me are the duds.
Hey, go ahead, DH.
DT, you should not have said that, because now I'm just over here laughing every time I say it. Man, I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting cooked. It was some point yesterday, dog, when he falling backwards, he on skates. It's like, at what moment you on your back like a roach looking up at the sky? Like, bro, I'm getting cooked out here today, bro. Cooked, bro. Good God.
This was part where you say we went back to the huddle, man. I'm getting cooked.
You like, help me.
If you went, like, let's say that does happen, like when you come back to the joint, he's like, man, I'm getting cooked. Like, what does Wentz do? Does he be like, nah, hey, let's get this dude.
I would love to be in that huddle. Hey, bro, you okay? You good?
Leno like, hey, fam, come on, bro, get it together.
Hey, you good? Are we good? Yeah, I don't think we good right now.
What's up, dog? What's up, man? What's up, man?
What's
Talk
up?
to me. Talk to me.
All right? I'm all right. You all right? You good?
Talk to me.
What's going on, Daddy? Tell me what's happening.
I mean, did I do something to you? I mean, let me know. Let's talk about it. I mean, like, what's good, bro?
And if you heard Leno talk, I can hear him saying that, bro. You good? Oh my God, bro. Because we ain't good.
He got pussy. He got man. He just gave him the ball. He just,
bro. I like CeeLo. Now I'm picturing that. I can just Leno looking at him like,
Oh man.
"You good, bro?
Like, bro,
What's happening?
talk to me. Talk to me.
I'm over here setting the edge. Come on, dog.
I'm setting the edge and you folding.
I'm getting cooked.
Have you ever seen offensive linemen like fight? That would be fun.
Hey,
That'd
bro.
be fun. They just start getting mad at each other.
Look though, because that happens though. Like, 'cause, you know, them your brothers. That's your man. So when he come back, you like, bro, you just got cooked, bro. Come on,
Bro,
we holding out.
Now, what about,
one-on-one.
what about the tape session though? When they watch the tape.
Oh, like, bro, look at this.
Potatoes, dog.
Hey, them sessions got to be brutal. Them sessions got to be brutal. I'm taping them joints to his locker room. That's you. To his locker. Let's get a cutout.
Bro, he said, look, and he's like, all right, this is the one right here. Look, like Coach 30. He's like, look,
Where's
right
South?
here.
Oh, and Coach 30.
This one right here. And then you gotta do in the back.
You on your back,
Right?
just like your mama.
He keep rewinding and keep going like this. He keep rewinding, keep going back like this. He pushing them down like this. He just keep going.
Look, you're doing the Urkel, young.
Bro, it was bad. That was bad. That was so bad.
Laugh
bad,
Wow.
man.
Laugh to his soul, because he definitely 1-4. And that's all I can do right now is laugh. That's it.
I mean, he single-handedly might have, like, he cost us at least 2 possessions. I mean, bro, that's hard. That's hard to do.
He said please. He said 2 possessions.
2 possessions. 2 possessions, bro. Because we got backed up. I mean, you know, like, it's bad. That's hard to do.
He had 2 penalties and 2 false start. I mean, 2 penalties.
Look at Dirk Snyder come.
4-play trap.
You out your ass. Exactly.
I had like a baby turtle, bro. Flip. You got some help to get him over top. Come on.
I'm setting the edge. You out here.
And you probably could even, like, Leno probably gave him like a hard slap. Come on, man. What you doing out there?
Oh.
Making us look bad. You know they already said.
Hey, Chase probably gave him the business too when he was out there. Chase probably gave him the business too. And now Nick probably like, I'm just trying to snap, bro. I don't know what I'm just trying to snap. I'm just gonna focus on snapping.
Hey, Deuce, cross Noel off your list of potential guests, bro. That ain't happening.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. Noel is not.
Breeze might gotta leave, Breeze. We messing up your fame.
Look, I don't think
that's why he
Breeze
turned to the side. Look, that's why he turned to the side.
That's just how Leno turned to the side on him too. Like, come on,
I don't even know this dude.
Oh man, that's too funny, man. Y'all crazy, man.
Nah, y'all know when all the linemen sitting on the bench, Noah come sit down, everybody slide to the other side.
Everybody slide over.
We good. We good, man.
Yeah. I want none of that mojo.
Nah, we good, man. We good.
Give him his own service tablet. He could look at the last possession over there. Good God.
And they say Masco is like a rah-rah type.
A genius.
So, yeah, he like a rah-rah coach too. So he probably went over that joke. He probably went over that joke late into him. He probably went to Ron, get him out of here. He better not be here Tuesday morning. Get him out of here. Oh man, that's crazy. Anyhow, Sela, Breeze, who's your
You want me to get? You still want me to say it?
I mean, yeah.
You still want me to say it?
Dude, she wanted to change the podcast to his name. Like, that's what it is, bro.
Welcome to the Andrew Noel show. We're gonna talk about Andrew.
Bro,
Hey,
get a silhouette of him like laying on the ground.
Let's look at what he did.
Oh man, we're gonna talk about him the whole time, man.
When that all 22 come out, boy, you gotta run for cover.
Ooh.
Oh man, y'all crazy, man. All right, let's go to defense.
Lord.
Let's get some duds on defense, man. Let me start with you, CeeLo. Who you got on defense?
Oh my God.
I mean, I guess it got to be McCain, right? I don't like to pick on McCain. I don't know why. I feel like he's a good like teammate. You know, he's a veteran in this league. But man, as a deep free safety, he is getting cooked out there. Like at least once a game. So, and I mean, he's not even like playing the ball. He's completely out of position or is getting beat or whatever. So it got to be McCain, bro. But he had him turned around. Yes. He was going through. He's doing pirouettes out there. Who was that, by the way? Like it wasn't like it was.
We don't know. That's what makes it even worse. We don't.
Yeah, number 15. That's all I remember. Number 15. Like
I was like, this dude a bum, man. Look what is he doing?
It wasn't even the rookie that's a man.
That's Nick Westbrook Ickheim. I think that's number 15.
Wow.
Nick
exactly.
Ickheim.
Did y'all see? Y'all see Tannehill just launch it. Like he was like, I'm launching
That's
this
what
joint.
I'm saying.
Like,
it was like the game plan is.
I know he done it somewhere.
It's like a punt. Whatever. I'm about to launch this joint, and it came down with it every single time it happens. Once a week.
Inside, he tracked it. McCain looking. I was like, man, like that's what I've been saying. Like these last few weeks is like, you are a free safety. Why are you behind the play?
Bro,
like he's not coming over late. Like I can see if you coming over late sometimes.
Right.
If you got deep third, you by yourself, it may be two routes, right? So you got to kind of stay in the middle and just kind of hope on your speed. But it's like one route out there, and you and a cornerback behind the wide receiver. Like, how is that even possible? Like how's that even possible? It just
like get a head start.
Happen, man.
Start running earlier. Like, I don't know.
I just stand like 40 yards off the ball.
Like, exactly. Like, I remember them old Greg Williams defense. Yeah, but you had a deep safety like way 40 yards downfield. Do that.
All right, who you got, DH?
I'm going to go with echo those sentiments of the back four with the secondary. They're just not making enough plays.
Oh, there you go, grouping again.
Hey, look, man.
You're trying to protect your brand.
You know what though? I haven't had a chance to go back and watch the game all over again. It's way different. I have to do.
But see, that's what this. All right, let me preference this with the post game show. We usually try to do the post game show on Sunday nights, but sometimes there's like so much stuff going on or whatever. So we usually move it to Monday sometime. This is solely based on what we saw. As fans when we watched the first game.
So if that's the case, I'm definitely going with the back secondary, all four of them, because I'm agreeing. Because look, they got to make some plays. One pick for this season is not good enough. You can't get beat like this, and like you said, man, if you're a safety, bro, there should be nobody running behind you. If anything, I'd rather you give us. I'd rather give
not consistently.
Right. I'd rather give up something in front of you than giving up something over the top.
It's always so behind. He's out that jump like he's playing corner.
It's like, oh, snaps. I'm like,
we got back there.
That's me. Yeah, that's you. What you mean? My man D. Snyder said they should have nowhere like they had running backs with fumbling issues to carry the ball everywhere in high school. So he should be walking around the field.
Walk around. Just walk around past that.
That's nasty, bro.
That is nasty. That's pretty nasty.
Whatever works.
Nasty, man. Who you got, DT?
For what we're doing, man, my Wi-Fi been tripping, bro.
Duds, DUD for defense.
Oh, I thought I already did my duds. Got the lumberjack.
Defense.
Oh, no,
for defense.
For defense.
Oh,
he the lumberjack.
We just went,
while you was gone, we went on the well for like the whole time.
Oh man, we about to change the name of the show to Norwell Getting Cooked.
Need to be Norwell in the line.
We should give it an award. We should change this from Duds to we change it to Norwell Award.
Man, I'm gonna be real.
The Noel and McCain, the Noel and McCain Award.
Noel Dud of the week.
Noel and McCain Award.
Noel McCain.
Yeah, bro. McCain for me. It's McCain, bro. Like I don't understand why is it that we cannot have consistent free safety play. Like you're supposed to play deep. Nobody should be behind you. You running behind cats. Like that's it, bro. This McCain cooked. Literally.
Oh
yeah.
Where you at with it?
Breeze.
I can't go the whole
they
secondary.
going orange helmets
I think
Thursday.
I think Cam Curl was like the highest graded player on the team on the defense, maybe behind Montez Sweat. So I can't go with the whole secondary, but I ain't gonna beat up on Bobby McCain no more because he, whatever. I'm gonna go with William Jackson III because he was bad enough. He actually got benched. You know what I mean? So I'm for Rashad Wildgoose. So I'm gonna go with William Jackson III because I didn't even realize that he was active yesterday.
You get benched for somebody with a name Wild Goose. You deserve to get all
after Rashad Wildgoose got torched against
Philly
Eagles.
He was
he
was holding Devontae Smith. He was holding
Rashad Wildgoose is lucky he had a job after the Philly game.
I thought they cut him.
Tell me, me too.
I thought they cut him that Monday.
You mean to tell me that the high price, whatever money he made cornerback?
He said his back. Look, this is it. All right, so this is his thing. Ron said they cut him because of performance. WJ3 came right back behind that. His interview said the treatment he's been getting on his back hasn't been working. First of all, when he says that, he's probably done for the year. He's probably done for the year. And then when they asked Ron, when they asked Ron about it today, he was like, "Look, we just pulled him." So I mean, I don't know, but at the same time, I don't think we're gonna see WJ3 no more this year.
Listen, I am. The Wild will remain here. I'm politicking for us to draft Storm Duck next year from the Tar Heels. So we can have a whole wildlife in our defensive. My man Storm Duck.
If we got Wild Goose and Storm Duck on the same defense, bro,
go find Smoke Monday. You know what I'm saying? Get him over here. I don't know what. Hey, all name
that dude is cooked, man. Like he's trash, man. Like I'm sorry,
man. I want Tony Grimes, bro.
Hey, bro, don't get me started on that. Is it too early for me to start?
It's too early. Yeah.
Give me a couple weeks.
VA boy.
It's too early. It's too early. I don't know, I was loose yesterday after the game. I was letting all the teams up in the space. Everybody come in here and cook. Okay.
Embarrassing, bro.
Who you got, DH? You did your back seven already. I think we all good, right? Yeah, I'm going to go with I'm gonna go with McCain too. Another person that's jive ball. I mean, let's did we do our dubs yet?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did our dubs. I think another person that we ain't kind of name it. I mean, he's been quiet but making plays is Cam Curl.
So I said 31.
He's been balling, man. Yeah, he's been balling. Forrest had a good couple plays yesterday. It's time to go young, man. Put them dudes in there. I think Percy is hurt. I think he got hurt on special teams last week.
Yeah, he got a quad.
So I hate that for him, but Kim said he was benched.
He hurt his back.
And
he hurt his back sitting down.
He hurt his ego, and he counting them checks. That's what he's doing. He's like, I'm good.
I'm telling you, he's done.
He wasn't benched. He hurt his back. Nah, he was hurting the back seven. That's what he hurt him.
Kim said Dub Trustway. All right, so someone
Trustway did. He had like 6 punts. That was crazy. He's punting all day.
Look at this dude. He said, if anybody dop up Carson Wentz or nowhere, they running laps. Oh man! All right, DH man. Look, man, we appreciate you for stopping by, man. We appreciate you for hanging out. I
appreciate y'all, man. Red Zone, man. It's always a pleasure. Remember, guys, new podcast drops this Thursday before the game. Breaking Command. It's a D&D football podcast, so we appreciate y'all, man. I gotta go give the baby a bath, man. Bye.
Appreciate it,
sir.
All right, DH.
All right, bro.
All right, man. Let's kind of let's get over these things. Let's get everybody's. This is kind of like the after pod. We want to talk about Carson Wentz, Scott Turner, and then Ron Riviera. Let's talk about them in that order. Let's get through this real quick. All right, so we'll start with you, Breeze. Carson Wentz. Just whatever. Just Carson Wentz.
Consistency. Carson's got to be. He's got to be better. He's got to be consistent. And it kind of plays along with somebody else that we're going to talk about. But Carson's got to be better. He's got to be more consistent. And he's got to make quicker decisions. Whether that's getting the ball out of his hands, whether that's read one, read two, put his foot in the ground and go. He's got to be quicker. You know what I mean? And the team kind of got to help him out in that regard sometimes. But yeah, consistency for sure.
CeeLo?
Fundamentals. Like, he has some of the worst footwork. And did y'all notice in that goal line play, he dropped back to like the 14-yard line. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? And it was in the protection. They weren't even rushing. They weren't even rushing him. So he's feeling pressure that's not even there.
He's feeling that phantom pressure. That's like you said.
It's like
when they go empty set. When they go empty, like he's all over the place. When they go empty, like he's trying to get up.
Yeah. He's throwing like that one throw to Cam Sims. Remember, it was a third down play. It was reviewed. He clearly dropped the ball, but he threw off his back foot, super high arch, and Cam tried his best. But that one play, horrible mechanics. So I think the pressure is creating a lot of inconsistencies amongst, like Bree said, he's not consistent. So inconsistency amongst his fundamentals. So get back to your fundamentals. Get your mind right. I know it's hard with Norwell in front of you, but try to get your mind right and try to stick to your fundamentals, and hopefully your balls won't sail or things won't get out of hand. Because I mean, that one last thing, that one play in the goal line, he threw the ball. Remember, he threw the ball, same play I think actually, he threw the ball like to the back corner, back pylon. And I thought he was trying to throw it away, but he just kind of lost it up there. I'm like, that's a horrible throwaway.
If the cornerback was smart, he could have just smacked it in because there's a DB like right in front of him. So he could have be falling out, grab it, and throw it back in.
I had a heart attack because when the minute he let it go, I knew that ball was not going out of bounds.
Yeah, I was like, what is he doing? So that's some of the things I've noticed. Like, he gets off his fundamentals and it just completely it just folds. Everything goes bad. So he got to get back to that.
For me, it's like this, man. I think we know what he is, like from watching all the games he has played from Philadelphia to the Colts. Then again, this is still a new offense for a new language. For what he's doing, I've been kind of impressed, but right now we're not helping him with the offensive line. The offensive line is not doing him no service, and we already know he has a tendency to hold the ball. And if y'all have noticed, he doesn't throw the ball away. He has that game maker mentality. Like, he holds the ball forever. Either he's running away or he's throwing it at the last minute. So I'm not trying to make him the biggest problem, because he's not. The national media will always do that because they need clicks, but he's far from the biggest problem on this team.
Yeah, I think so too. I think Wentz is taking a lot of heat. The O-line is bad. He saved us from a few turnovers. He is willing to run the ball, but it seems like he's only willing to do it in the fourth quarter. I think he needs to not run all the time, but he needs to show that, if it's nothing is there, I'm willing to run for like 3-4 yards, right? Instead of just continue to backpedal, because I think this thing, he's not getting any protection. But when he does, his mind is telling him he doesn't have it, right? And I think that's what's frustrating, is that when he does have a clean pocket, he's not making good throws. I mean, especially when we need it. So no, I'm not totally out on Wentz yet, but it's not going to get any better with this O-line if this O-line continue to be trash. Like, Wentz has to find a way to dig deep to try to be that somewhat of a playmaker, but he's just not. He's a tree back there now. He's not the same guy that we saw in 2017. I mean, he needs protection, but I think he needs to work on his pocket presence. I think his pocket presence is just really bad. And he needs to work on that. And I think that's the only way that this offense is going to be able to thrive. It's going to depend on Carson Wentz being able to buy more time in the pocket.
Hey, dudes, did y'all remember that one play? I don't know if you remember, but he ran to the sideline because I think it was a broken play. And that dude, that defensive tackle, Simmons, ran him down. And I don't know how big Simmons is. I'm like, bro, this dude just ran down Carson Wentz like it was not. I mean, it was a very athletic play by defensive line, but it was a great play by Simmons. But like Wentz Like he couldn't turn it up if he wanted to because Simmons was right there out of bounds. So that stuck out to me. Like, yeah, you ain't got it no more, bro. You gotta throw that ball away.
Yeah, he's done. We need to establish the run game and extension of the run. Like we have to do more pre-snap movements. We got to do more jet sweeps, more handoffs, more quick moves. Like we have to be able to freeze up that D line for a little bit of time. And it just depends. And we about to go into this next person. Do we think Scott Turner has shown anything that he can adjust to be able to put Carson Wentz in a good position to succeed? And since CeeLo and Breeze nodded their head no, I'm gonna go to DT. Go ahead, DT. What you think? Oh, hey, okay. So Dog Tie is Derek Snyder. I didn't know that, Dog Tie. No, I did not know that. It's good to know. I didn't know that, bro. Yeah, go ahead.
I think the thing with Scott, man, is like I don't know. The adjustments are like the biggest thing when it comes to NFL. When you see the top guys like Andy Reid's and guys like that, they make adjustments on the fly. And I don't know when he's making the adjustments, and I don't know if he wants to be a 60 to 40 pass guy or he wants to be a 50 to 50 run pass guy. Like, I think he in a way he's hindering the offense as well, especially with Carson Wentz with the dropbacks, the protections, and the play calling, things like that. The biggest thing for me is I want to give Scott a chance because I feel like he's the best fit for another guy in that quarterback room. But as of right now, man, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what we have in Scott.
Yeah, Taylor Heineke might be Scott Turner's ceiling. What you think, Breeze?
I don't like Scott Turner.
Oh man, did y'all see? I'm sorry, Breeze. Like, I think Ash just posted in the chat. Mark found a clip where Nick Martin false started, but didn't snap the ball.
That's happened before. I've seen that happen before.
He still got the ball in his hand. Oh God, we are bad. Go ahead, Breeze. We are bad, man. We are bad.
God. Yeah, man. Scott Turner, excuse me. Scott Turner seems kind of out of touch with what he has. Whether that is not using everybody correctly or trying too hard to include everybody in the game plan, I don't know what the disconnect is. I've spoken repeatedly about the fact that his play calling has no flow, no rhythm. He's literally like out there butt mashing and just, he's not setting anything up really. I've seen him maybe set up like 2 or 3 plays this year, but nothing really. He calls play action pass. He doesn't run the ball and then try to throw play action passes. Like, like there's no threat of running the football. Why would I bite on? Like, I don't see his ability to. I don't see him making any adjustments until proven otherwise. I don't think it's because he can't. I just think it's because he doesn't want to. He thinks his way of doing it is going to get it done. And I think at this point we've kind of all seen that's not what it is, though.
CeeLo.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Breeze. I think we have a 5-game sample size. We've been, through the preseason, and they've been together since OTAs, minicamp. So I always go back to that, right? Like, what have we been doing all this time? Like, I always go back to that. Like, I know you can't replicate game time situations to a T, but you got to have some plays in the playbook that caters to your quarterback who cannot move, who has a big arm, and he is limited because he's still learning your offense. So what do you do until he's ready to pick up more of that offense? You either run the ball, you make it very simple for him. And I just feel like Scott isn't doing that right now. He's making it way too complicated in a system that doesn't need to be. These guys do move pretty well going forward. I feel if you have a good, like Bree said, like a good flow, call the right plays at the right times. You getting like a 2nd and 6. Do you go ahead and spread them out and try to go all the way deep, or do you try to get first down? You know what I mean? Like, there's no flow. So everyone is doing a whole bunch of things at the same time, and therefore we have no identity. So Yeah, for me, Scott just doesn't. He needs to settle down. He needs to reduce that playbook, focus on the dozen or so plays that they do really well, and focus on that and practice them, and that's it. And that's
I
it,
mean,
and get them
we
to that point.
we've even seen like in probably at various points in every game this season when they go tempo, they have success. But for whatever reason, he won't just come out. I understand this NFL football. You can't go 500 miles an hour all game. I understand that. But like, if tempo works in the fourth quarter, try coming out. They may not be expecting you to go, coming straight at them, play after play after play. They may think you sit back. Like, so you got to try something, switch stuff up. And I think we all kind of understand that Carson is not the kind of quarterback that should be throwing the football 45 times a game. But
Right.
for whatever reason, consistently, they drop back and keep trying to throw the ball if Carson wins. Gibson can run the football. Robinson
Right.
can run the football. Why are we not using – we stole J.D. McKissick back from Buffalo, and we aren't using him the way we were successful in using him years past. Like, I'm not understanding. Like, I feel like Scott Turner has more weapons at his disposal, and he's gotten to be a worse play caller to an extent because he's not. I don't know. Something's not clicking.
I also think someone made a point earlier. I once seen it earlier in the offseason that someone thought that this offense actually suited Carson Wentz better, and I'm not sure if that's true. Right? Like, so I feel like Scott Turner's offense is an offense that I know his father loved to run the ball, play action, Air Coryell down the field. Right? I feel like his son is a little bit more creative, so he has a lot of short passes. He's short passes is an extension of the run game. So get the ball to your back and have him go work. That's kind of what Scott's kind of trying to do, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not Wentz.
Yeah.
Wentz doesn't throw the ball very accurately along the line of scrimmage, or if you notice, sometimes it's just to be a little off. He's just a little. So it's not really. That's not really his thing. He likes to push the ball down the field in the intermediary routes. And so it hasn't really been as fluid as you would like to see. So it feels like Scott, like Bree said, he's trying to fit a round square peg in a round hole because he's trying to force some certain principles that just aren't there for Carson Wentz. That's why I think you focus on those 5 or 6 plays that he does well. You have 15 variations of those 5 or 6 plays, and you just go out and execute. Like that's it, So,
and I think another thing with him is that, like they constantly preach that. We're trying to get everyone involved. We want to get everyone involved.
Yeah, why?
It sounded good in the offseason, right? It sounded good to me. Yeah, everyone got all these weapons. Nah, man, it's time to dial it back. Get your 3. You got whatever your game plan is. You got Terry, you got Samuels, either Dotson, Diami, or you got JD Gibby. Like however you want to do it. But go into that game scheming for these 3 players and everyone else is complimentary off of that. And you can change it from game to game. You don't have to keep it the same. You could change it from game to game. The only thing that's going to be constant and the same is the running game. So Brian Robinson is continue to be the same. But dial it back. This is my focus. These 3 players, this is 1, 2, 3. Everything else is kind of going to come off of that. So if Diami is not part of that 3 or Dotson not part of that 3, somewhere in this game, we're going to do something and we're going to decoy them down the field. We're going to do it a few times, see what it look like. And then that third time we do it, we finally going to get it over the top because we seen how they reacted to it, right? That's play calling. Like that's setting up the defense. That's setting up because we know all the great play callers, when they call this play, it's not necessarily about this play. It's about that third play off of this play later in the quarter, right? Those were elite OCs do. But do we have an elite? I don't even want to say elite. Let's just go back. Like, do we have a good offense? Like, he has the plays. Yes, he has innovative plays. He has a good playbook, but he can't use it. It's like somebody gave it to him. It's like somebody gave him this playbook because he doesn't know it from front to back.
You can't say so. The only reason I'm giving Scott a little bit of credit.
Appreciate you for stopping through, bro. Dog tag.
All right, yeah, D. The only reason why I think you got to give him a little bit of credit is that man did win 7 games with probably one of the weaker arm QBs in the league, right? So that offense looked competent last year at times. So to be able to scheme around a player of that caliber, and be able to, to generate some points that they did last year, it makes me believe that he could be a good OC, but he doesn't do the adjustment thing very well. Like the Kyle Shanahan's and the Sean McVays of the world, they adjust. They don't have the same. I mean, they have principles that they like to employ. They like to run the ball. They do a lot of stretch running, but they tend to adjust to their quarterback, right? Like Jimmy Garoppolo, I don't think would be as successful anywhere else other than 49ers, in my opinion. But for some reason, Kyle knows how to dial it up, make sure he's successful, and so on and so forth. I don't see that yet with Scott. Now he, like I said, he did a good job with Taylor Heineke, but he's worked with him before. Now you have this guy who's excellent, has excellent skills, big arm, 6'5", 230, whatever. How do you not use that? So that's kind of his limitation.
He has a playbook for this specific quarterback, right? But you don't have this specific quarterback. You have Carson Wentz. So you apply Carson Wentz to your playbook. You don't apply your playbook to Carson Wentz. And I think that's where the disconnect is between like what we hear and what we actually is saying on the field. That's yeah, go ahead, Breeze.
So my thing here's my thing, and I have a slightly different perspective because I do coach as well, but I feel like you can get everybody involved without trying to force the issue. So yes, to your point, absolutely. You understand. We're gonna try to scheme Terry in this week. We're gonna try to scheme Hahn in this week. Hey, this might be a B-Rod week. This might be a Gibson week. Whatever the case may be. And then once you get into the game, you take whatever the defense gives you. But you can't keep trying to fit that square peg in a round hole and trying to force something that's not working. Once it doesn't work, okay, shit. My bad. They locking down Terry right now. Okay, well, guess what? We're gonna have to throw screens to Curtis. Go quick game to Curtis. We got to. Hey JD, hey B Rob, it's not working right now. Hey JD, come on, let's get you moving outside. Like you gotta switch stuff up, move stuff up. But like we've all said, the problem is that he can't make those adjustments. He either can't or doesn't make those adjustments in game, and he just keeps trying to force the game plan that is at that point now not working. And we've had some success with it, but
It has to be a disconnect with Carson Wentz. I mean, it's either he just don't know all the playbook to make those switches. It's like in practice, they have these 20 plays, and these are 20 plays that we go over. And there's one thing, and I want to mention this, then we're going to move on to the head coach. And we're going to try to like 15 more minutes. Sorry for the time, y'all. Hope y'all got like another 15 minutes. Are you good? All right, cool. It look like DT watching wrestling. I'm not sure. That's what it looks like he's doing. Like he's watching wrestling.
I got Derek Carr fantasy, bro.
Oh yeah. Let's try to wrap this up.
Yeah, I forgot all about Monday Night Football.
It's one thing I noticed in at training camp. I don't know how many of y'all went a few times, but the few times I went, even when they was doing 11 on 11, most of the time after each play, Scott Turner was coming with the play. But you know how high school, when you learn the plays in the summer and a coach comes call it, he puts it up, he gives it to all of us, the quarterback calls it to get it. He was doing that the whole time, even on 11 on 11s. And this is like deep into like this is like preseason week 2, week 3. Like around the last time I went, I saw that too. He was still holding the plays up like this when they was going through 11 on 11. Game time or whatever the case may be. In my mind, I was like, man, that's an issue. Like, why is he still having to hold the plays up like that when they on 11? I could see if it was like 7 on 7 or you putting in new plays, but this is kind of wild to be doing this right before game day prep. I don't know if that's an issue or not, but that's something different. All right, so we heard the comments from Ron Riviera all day long. Where are we at with Ron? With Ron Riviera? Yep, we're going to Breeze. Just because he threw his hands up. We're going with Breeze first. What you got, Breeze?
Here we go.
Look at DT. DT going last. He's been waiting for this segment.
I am approaching, not quite there yet, but quickly approaching. Something's got to be done. And not necessarily saying it has to be done to the extent of him losing his job, but something's got to be done. You are the captain of this ship, and at this point, like we all see what's going on. You know what I mean? Like if fans see it, media sees it. You can't be that stubborn, that egotistical to the point that you feel like, oh no, it's working. My way of doing things is going just fine. Like, it's not. We all see it. We all know it. You have to make a change, make an uncomfortable decision, whether that, I don't think Carson should be benched, but whether that's benching Carson, whether that's, firing Scott or giving someone else play calling duties, whether that was something has got to change. Because if it doesn't change, in a few weeks, we're going to start having conversations about the head man changing. So, he's got to put his foot down and just stop trying to stay with the status quo. Like, it's not working. It's unsuccessful. And, it starts with him, to me. So,
CeeLo.
Man, that's a tough one, man. I like Ron Riviera a lot. I feel like he was the right hire at the right time at the time. We all know where this organization was when he took over. We were the Redskins when he took over, to give you an idea, right? So, and everything speaks for itself, right? His cancer, like everything, right? So, like, I want him to succeed. Like, I want him to be the guy to get us through this crazy time. I think where it sticks out to me in this whole coach-centric approach of the thing is that if that doesn't work out, you're really, really you're in a tough spot, right? So he's selecting the players. He has help. He has the Martys. I'm not saying he's doing it all on his own. But when you look at some of the evidence and some of the people he's brought in, they're people that he's worked with before. So clearly he has a lot of influence on who they bring in. So for me, I just feel like it's way too much for me a close. Like, I don't know if you guys, like in corporate America, happens all the time, right? You bring in someone because you trust them, and that helps you do whatever you got to do going forward. In this particular case, he brought in people that he knew, but they're not any good. Like, they're not that good. Like, you gonna bring back Norwell and Turner, who may have been okay in Carolina, but really, and then you bring in Scott Turner over, who was it? Kevin O'Connell or whoever it was, the play caller at the time, for Dwayne Haskins. You made these decisions almost in like isolation. Like, I got my guys. I don't care about anybody else. I'm not even giving you a free and fair like interview. He didn't even he didn't go and get the best guy for the job. He got guys that he's familiar with. And that's the problem that I have. This whole NFL is all about either nepotism or who you know. And I get that, but it's fine when it works. But when it doesn't work, I got a problem with that. And to me, it hasn't worked. You weren't that good in Carolina. I mean, let's be honest. Out of two seasons, you weren't that good. So like, how you bring in the same organizational structure as you had in Carolina that got you, 3 out of 5 losing seasons. So
that's my problem.
I think I need to see him be like, I don't think he has it in him when I say this, like someone who can kind of think outside the box, think differently, everything, personnel, right? Different play calling, right? Different defense, like get some like, just like in corporate America, they like, they like DEI. You hear that term DEI all the time. You like to see some diversity in your staff, so people have different perspectives and can give you some different ideas. He has none of that. It's the same guys he's been yes men or working with since his Baltimore days or since his Philly days. And it's like, bro, it's not working. And you're unwilling to change. So that's where I am with Ron. I want him to succeed, but he's not allowing himself to succeed given his stubbornness and his unwillingness to make changes. So it's either him or it's something else gonna have to move. Something's gonna happen real soon.
Yeah, man, because I think, and we're gonna let DT end it because I think he's been chopping at the bit. My thing with Ron Rivera is that, like, the first 5 weeks we said Scott Turner is this, he needs to do better. JDR, we needs to do better. Masco needs to be better with the O-line. Defensive backs coach Chris Harris. Chris Harris. Yeah, Chris Harris. Chris Harris need to do better with it. All these people need to do better. And Ron keeps saying it doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen overnight. Ron, it's the morning time now. It's time for you to give these answers. You're the reason why all this stuff is happening. You're the last word from all of these things. This O-line is not blocking well, it's your fault. Carson is not looking good, it's your fault. The play calling is off, it's your fault. McCain keep getting beat, it's your fault. Like, all of this is your fault. It's time for you to wake up. It's time for you to take responsibilities. It's time for you to do something. Make a change for stuff that's not working. Get your feelings out of it. You know what I'm saying? Nail your feelings to the flat, to the commander's seal, as you may say. Nail your feelings to it. Get out of that, because we all know that Ron is loyalty to a fault, and he will keep riding it. Ron is not working, right? It's not working. Something needs to change, and eventually we're gonna start seeing things change, man. Like, stuff is starting to, like, he's starting to get more and more frustrated. You know, he's starting to kirk out more and more. He's starting to say things that he's not meaning to say. And sooner or later, he's holding all of it in. It's just going to come out, man. And he can't blame JDR because the defense been playing. But it's his protege, right? It's probably the person that he extended in the offseason. It's a person he's probably looking at to be the next head coach. It's a person that he's looking at to say, yeah, I created him. This is my tree. I'm starting my tree now. It's that guy. Like, are you going to make a move? And people say, well, he made a move with Sam Mills. Nah, I don't know, man. That was more than football. You knew the D-line was bad at the end of the season. You knew the D-line was bad in OTAs. You knew the O-line was bad at the beginning of training camp, but you wait till like the first or second preseason game to fire Sam Mills. I don't know about all that. But anyhow, what I do know is, Ron, it's the morning. It was busy. This is year 3. It's time for you to wake up and answer this call, man, and make some type of moves. But DT.
I got a lot of problems, man, and I have to go to the past, right? So, and this is me. Ron is a great man, great motivator, well respected around the league. But when something is on paper and is written with ink, a lot of times it's true. And his record is he's a mediocre coach. And that's the truth. The only reason why he had 10 plus seasons as a coach of Carolina was because of Cam Newton. And a lot of people always ask, why is he washed? Why is Cam Newton not the same no more? Well, let's look at history. Those same people in that Carolina staff and that front office, they didn't address the offensive line to protect Cam Newton, even with his running style. And that what led to derail his career. They didn't also give him the weapons. So when you think about your first turnaround as a head coach, the one thing I expect you to do is learn your lessons. So my thing is, you come to Washington.
My man digging deep.
You come to Washington and you say, okay, when we get our quarterback, the one thing we have to surround him with is weapons, and we have to protect him. Now, 2020, let's also point this out. You take advantage of a weak division. You bench your former number 1 pick that you didn't draft in Dwayne Haskins, God rest his soul, and you kind of set him up for failure by getting one of your guys who haven't proved anything in 4 games. Meanwhile, it'll been the same result with KOC, who proved himself in 3 games that him and Dwayne Haskins had a connection. And you took that away from him. You set him up. You traded for Kyle Allen. And you already knew from the jump, from being in that building, that Dwayne Haskins.
I forgot about that.
You already knew in that building Dwayne Haskins wasn't your guy. You were waiting for Alex Smith to get healthy. You take advantage of Dak Prescott getting injured, Carson Wentz wincing himself, and the New York Giants being a complete horrible boom wreck to win the division at 7-9 to get in the playoffs. That's cool. I get winning. But at the same time, you're giving us false expectations. Imagine we were at number 10 in the 2021 draft. You know who we would have? We would have had Micah Parsons with this defensive line. Micah Parsons would have elevated.
Because Micah he didn't match his culture guy. He probably skill skipper.
Sometimes you gotta take a risk, man. Sometimes you gotta take a risk.
We need some. We need somebody.
Yeah, but you set us false expectations. You sign Ryan Fitzpatrick. He gets hurt first week. We have Taylor Heineke. We go 7-9 again, and this time you see, okay, we kind of had high expectations. Defense didn't live up to expectations. Offense shows some slight improvement with Taylor Heineke, but now you realize, okay, it's time to get our quarterback. So what you do? You trade for Carson Wentz. A lot of people were still in on the Carson Wentz thing. I was not one of them. I'm not going to lie to you. But the more he was telling me, I started to live with it. Okay, maybe Carson Wentz can give me 2019. I can live with 2019 stuff. But the one thing you did is this. You lied to me, Ron. You said you're going to protect them, but now you got Jags. You got 2 Jags at guard. You can't replace your Brandon Sheriff. You got rid of Eric Flowers. Say what you want. Eric Flowers is better than the lumberjack. You got the wide receivers. You got almost everything. You have some talent on this defense, but you're not living up to expectations. Every team in your division that you play, you look outmatched, you look outcoached, and outplayed. You can't compete with Dallas. You cannot compete with Philadelphia, and you might not even compete with the Giants. So my question is this. Ron may be the guy to fix the culture, but he is not the guy to win with. And we could probably win on Thursday. But these next couple of games, we play the Packers, you play the Vikings and the Colts, and you play on Monday night in Philadelphia. I don't think he survives this year, man. I don't care what a lot of people say. At the end of the day, it's like this. We have to win. You have to win, man. And that's the biggest thing about it. You have to win in this league. You have to find a way to win. You have to find a way to get your guys motivated. The stuff I heard today was very discerning because the first thing you say was quarterback. So are you telling me Carson is not the guy? Even you clear it up, trying to clarify yourself, that's the first thing you said. I'm like, wait a minute. I thought Carson was the guy. I thought you traded for him. $28 million? You don't even tell him, hey, can you take a pay cut? Because you lost the last game of the year to the Jaguars, but we'll be a little. You don't even take a pay cut.
Oh man.
And I don't want to lose Sam Howell. That's the biggest thing to me. But at the same time, I'm like C-Love, bro. You gotta draft your quarterback till you find your guy. So if CJ Stroud is there or Bryce Young is there at 3 or wherever we at, I'm taking it with a swiftness. That's where I'm at right now.
Well, it looked like he was reading that from a. It's like he took time to write that down in a notepad.
Yeah, that was roasted.
That was good, bro. He like Jay-Z in this joke. He ain't gotta write nothing down. CeeLo, any last words, man?
Hey man, we need a dub. I need to have one of these Monday after game podcasts. We gotta come on, we gotta have a dub. Let's get this dub. I don't care if even it's for 1 week, whatever happens to Ron, all that stuff. Let's hold off for one more week. I look forward to having a day after podcast where we are talking about a W for once, not an almost, but an actual W. Let's go get this win. That's it.
Breeze. I don't know if Breeze gonna be on here next week because
free agent. Free agent.
Man. Yeah, man. I'm always gonna ride for the team, man. Like CeeLo said, we gotta go get a win. We gotta look in the mirror and identify what needs to be done, what needs to be changed, and make those changes and make it consistent effort to go out there in the field. And I understand it's a short week, so a lot of changes you maybe can't make on a short week, but this is a game. You have to win this game. You have there's no if, ands, or buts. You have to win this game Thursday. If you don't, Friday's gonna be a long day for everybody. You know what I mean? You got to go win this game.
Oh man, my man Hulk is crazy. Anything, DT?
Man, I went on that rant, and now I gotta be a little bit positive. This is my team, man. We just gotta win. We just gotta win, man.
That's it. We just gotta win.
That's it.
We just gotta win.
Simple.
Oh, we
One way-
down
find a way
bad,
to
man.
win.
You got to win, bro.
Hey,
Yes,
man, I
we do.
appreciate y'all, man. CeeLo, Breeze, Darius, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Once again, for helping me host the Commanders post-game show. Appreciate all of you that listened, that tuned in. Appreciate all of you that watch. But this is Red Zone in the Lab podcast. I am Dion Deuce Blackney. One beat, one sound, one heart, one love.
Thank you for listening to Red Zone in the Lab podcast. Please follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Red Zone in the Lab. And you can download our podcast at Spotify, iTunes, and Podbean. And please visit our website at redzoneinTheLab.com. Thank you.